Edwin recently met my girlfriend, and we were all out for dinner. We do that once in a while. And so we have this big crew there, and you had the rental Tesla.
Yeah, the loaner.
Well, you're like, look at this little car, and you had the key fob. She thought it was a real car, and she like later told me, she's like, that's so on brand for what I've heard about Edwin. He would carry a little car around with him. And then I was so upset when I found out it's just his key. But the thing I really wanted to tell you is, you know how like the whole night you kept talking about the Tesla dance?
The Tesla Model X can dance. If you
can
haven't seen
dance.
it, look it up on YouTube. It's the coolest thing.
She thought you were gonna do a dance, like that you made up a
About
Tesla
the
dance.
Tesla?
And she told me later, because like she kind of like rushed me out of there, and she didn't really want to say she wanted to go home, but it was kind of gonna be a date night, and then
I
she's
got
out
that
with all the
vibe.
guys, you know.
I was about to become a third wheel.
Yeah.
Showing her the Tesla dance.
I think your wife also wanted to go home, Edwin.
Yeah.
She told
She
me
like put
later.
her jacket on and like stood up, and we were all talking about like Humvees, and she was like ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, she told me later, she's like, once I found out it was the car that danced, I couldn't have cared less.
Oh no.
She wanted to see it when she thought you were going to be dancing the Tesla dance.
So it was my first time meeting her, and I let her down double. I don't carry around little cars, and I don't make up my own dances.
You should start doing both of those things.
Okay. Next time I see her, I'll be like, this is my favorite Hot Wheel. It's a Gen 1 Corolla.
And she'll be like, wow, my mental image of this man is complete.
Wow. Well, just tell her to see me around the Chang Li, and she'll really see my personality.
She doesn't know
Just-
much about the Chang Li.
Oh.
And when you just need to invent a Chang Li dance, and then you'll impress her.
Oh, and then
It
tell her
already
that, and
exists.
she'll think the car's just gonna like go up and down and stuff, but actually you'll be there like, gee, gee.
Well, when it does wheelies, and we are talking about if
Have
it
we had a
has,
podcast where you didn't talk about the Chang Li doing wheelies?
It's
yet?
gotta be
Since you
pretty
got
cool.
the Chang Li, have we
not
talked-
ever since we had the Chang Li.
I don't think so.
No.
The lure of the Chang Li, the lore
The lore.
of
The
the
lore.
Chang Li is super funny. Will and I were talking about this the other day. We got this car imported and delivered, and it sat on top of the hill for 3 months, and none of us even thought about it.
No interest. I was like,
the only
zero
excitement was
interest.
Chris kept borrowing it. Chris was helping build the shop,
Yeah.
and he's 6'6", and he kept borrowing it to go home for lunch because he lives just up the road.
Chris was driving the Chang Li more than we were.
Because his like
He probably drove it 100 miles overall.
no.
Dang near.
But his family up there thought it was hilarious. So like his I don't know what the relation is, nephew or something was like a couple years old and just loved the little red car. So
I mean, how could you
But he
not?
was the point is he was the only one that like actually cared about it. I
Yeah.
drove it down to the mailbox when we first got it just to see if it worked, and I was like, wow, this thing is very jank. And then I didn't care about driving it anymore. And then you guys somehow didn't get interested at all.
Yeah, and then
No.
the deal was the importer of these things, I believe the only one in the U.S. is Electric Import Motors. So they gave it to us, and all they said was just tag us on Instagram. So we were like, okay, yeah, for sure, we'll do something with it eventually. We're pretty busy this summer, and then they sent us a message like, hey, did you get around to doing that? And I was like, oh, like let's just do a rally track time. So the first thing we did was Will and I just
rally
hopped in.
track.
We got Steven filming. Like, let's just hit a rally track, throw it up on Instagram. We had so much fun that day, and it progressed so quickly. We made an entire Grind Hard feature video, which we never make full videos without, like, modifying something or getting it working.
I
We
mean,
did a
you modified it. We
Yeah,
had
but
to put bigger tires. And
we
a
burnt the
rack.
roof a little
Burnt a
bit.
hole in the roof.
Well,
I mean,
no, that wasn't until the 100-mile challenge
Oh,
video.
yeah, well, but that wasn't the feature. You were talking about
yeah.
the feature video. That's why I thought you
Yeah,
were...
the first video, all we did was put those tires on it, which was a little bit of grinding out the fenders.
Yeah.
And it was a
Yeah,
little, I think
there's a
actually
little
the
bit of
welded
work.
diff was in the first episode.
Yeah.
But still,
I
I
think
was
so.
not expecting getting a full episode out of that. But the second, like, we launched from the start line, we were like,
Launch.
oh, like
We could... Well, it's electric, so it doesn't even make much noise. You just hear it kind of like janking around over the bumps. Just and then you two going... Whoa!
Literally?
Steve and I were on this side of the shop. You guys were on the other side of the shop, halfway across the property, and we just hear, whoa!
We
off
were
in the
out
distance.
all day.
Yeah,
and
all day, just
Steven
driving that
stopped
thing
filming
around.
us. Like,
Just kept
Yeah, you
driving
guys
around.
are still out
Yeah.
there like, whoa, man, yo.
yeah, Steven came in because you were doing like
probably chopper.
You
stuff,
were doing work, and like that was important for Steven to film. Like we couldn't possibly have gotten more footage of us trundling through the woods in that thing
at 1 mile an hour.
And then like a couple hours in, we came in and we're like, Steven, we're about to try the yeeter totter, man. And like we didn't stop until that thing was completely dead on battery.
Yep.
What's
Like,
really funny is I was looking through the footage on the phone footage we have of it, trying to find any clips where you guys weren't just being like, whoa! And that is all the audio I had.
every single clip. He was editing that footage like while I was working on the chopper, and I just hear, whoa, whoa, over and over and over again.
Because normally when we start a project, it's our idea. So when we bought all the axles and hubs for the shopping cart go-kart, it's like, yeah, Will and I wouldn't shut up about it, but it was our idea to do that. The Chang Li
Just
was
came
just
into our
like,
lives.
hey, do you want this thing? We're like, sure. But the second we step foot in that thing, man.
That was its
All right,
purest
what were we
form.
talking about? I went off on another
I think you
Chang-
were, every.
classic Chang Li rant.
We can't even say the word Chang Li, or it starts. We're talking about the
It's
creative
because
processes.
it's in the background.
I
right
know.
there.
We gotta like. Put
We
a
need to like put
cover
a tarp
over that
on it
thing.
or something. It's
I'm
looking
like,
at us.
My cheeks hurt from smiling so much just looking at it. But, anyways, you know what my dream is? I want to get one of those Harbor Freight motorcycle racks and then supermoto a brand new CRF 110. Have you seen like the new way they do the plastics?
I haven't, no, but I'm sure they're
Really
pretty cool.
nice. Supermoto it with red wheels behind that thing.
On a little trailer, or you
Like
could do a
I
hitch
almost
mount.
cried. I have goosebumps, man.
He actually does.
Such a beautiful
Maybe that's
thing.
because it's cold.
It is kind of cool.
I
on the
wouldn't
side.
have them before I started talking about the Chang Li,
Oh,
but
man.
anyways, if it has an electric motor, all we need to do is electric steering and we can make it remote control.
It would be pretty nice because then we could put you in it, Steven, and like play the 100-mile challenge,
Yeah.
but we don't have to do the work. We can just drive you around for 100
Oh,
miles.
I don't know if I want to agree to this. I've
And
seen
we'll
you guys
put-
drive.
We'll put DJI like the same thing that's in our
Camera.
drone
FPV.
on it, and then we'll just wear goggles and we'll drive Steven. It'll be a third-party 100-mile challenge.
Yeah.
Third person.
Yeah.
Yep. That's kind
And
of
then
the idea.
We'll just put you in the most jank situations,
So
and there's nothing you can do.
We're
about
on
it.
That's
another
why I'm
Chang Li
worried.
tangent. We're still supposed to be talking about
Okay.
the creative process.
yeah.
Yeah.